Alright guys, welcome back to Survival Living here. So there is some news and information that is floating around out there that is very concerning. Like the title suggested, yeah, there is a plan put in place by NATO to actually send 300,000 U.S. troops to Europe in a defense, or I shouldn't say defense, a reaction force pretty much when Russia decides to go on the full attack. So let's discuss this. Now I do have the aid of my cell phone, but I should be popping up a pop-up there for you guys. This is from the Daily Mail. Revealed NATO plan to get U.S. troops to the front line to fight Russia. Alliance prepared for rapid deployment of American soldiers amidst fear Moscow is plotting major war with Europe. And there's a nice little photo of their plans, insertion plans, things like that. Now, the question is, how much stock do we put in this? Quite frankly, guys, I expect governments to be coming up with contingency plans, attack plans, things of that nature. Do I believe that this would be exactly what's going to happen? No, I don't, only because of operations. You know, I mean, you don't want to tell your enemy exactly what you're planning on doing. But seeing this, guys, this is it's concerning. It is. I'm not going to come up here and tell you we're going to war tomorrow and everybody's going to get drafted and all of that good stuff. There's always a possibility, absolutely. But the facts that we're seeing, the push, we keep seeing the push of this war, and it's been a slow push. You know, when it first started going down, you know, 2 years ago, guys, I was like, yeah, we're fixing to pop off. Things moved really fast, and then it just sat on back burner, slowly moving forward. I really hope you guys are preparing. This isn't something we should be playing around with. I know there are those that on comments and things like that, nothing's going to happen, nothing ever has happened, nothing ever will happen. Plenty of stuff happen all the time. And actually the build-up for this major conflict is huge. You know what? You do you, I do me. All right, I try to prepare as many people as possible for the threats that we see. And this is a major threat. When this happens, and not if, when this happens, everything's going to change for everyone. You're not getting food. You're not going to the store. You're not driving around with your vehicle. You are rationed. There will be, you know, the threat of foreign troops here in America. I always put that back, you know, like I just don't see that happening. I do see that happening now. Putin, there should be a pop-up there for you guys. He's not scared of using nuclear weapons. As a matter of fact, they recently did an interview with him and he was talking about to protect the sovereignty of their country. It was on the table. The U.S. is sending more weapons to Ukraine. Weapons, and green lighting them to attack deeper in Russia. What do you guys think is going to happen when they start blowing up stuff in Moscow? You think that the Russians just going to sit there and just take it? Or you think that they're just going to blow the crap out of Ukraine? No, they're going to eventually circle back and we're going to get hit blindsided when they know the country that's providing the finances for this and the weaponry. I think a lot of people forget about that. I mean, sure, we see that, and a lot of people are mad. I agree with you that we're financing Ukraine for all this stuff, but they're not really thinking about the implications of this. We're responsible. Our government is responsible. The United States is behind this. We're helping Ukraine to attack further. Now, I know Russia rolled in on Ukraine. I don't care who started or anything like that, guys. We are in a burning house, and we will get some form of repercussion. And unfortunately, it's going to be a major one in my belief. When this happens and America gets attacked over this, I don't know where. You know, people hear about nuclear weapons and they're like, well, I'm just not going to prep because it'll kill everybody off. Actually, no, people have survived nuclear attack. Look at Japan. It's still there. Is it a deadly weapon? Yes, absolutely. There's things you can do to protect yourself on it. But just because a nuclear explosion goes off in America doesn't mean that everything's gone, all right? The rest of the country is still moving around. Wherever ground zero is done. So you need to be preparing. All right, you don't have to go and get all the gas masks and stuff like that. You know, we have them, sure. But before I did that, before I got gas masks and filters and suits and all that stuff, I made sure I had food stocked up. I had water stocked up, water filtration, medical, hygiene, defensive equipment. Make sure that you have these things that you need to sustain your life. Now, granted, if you have the availability now to invest in radiological suits and things like that nature to move from point A to point B in case of fallout and stuff like that, because let's face it, most of us don't have a bunker. Yeah, invest in it, of course. My main concern, though, is not taking a blast or radiation being dealt around me from a nuclear attack from Russia. Do I expect one? Yeah, it's a possibility. My main concern, though, is dealing with the after effects, not just the radiological aspect of it, but the supply chain. Look at our natural disasters here in America and how everything was so jacked up for days and weeks, sometimes months, from hurricanes. Look at Katrina. Look down South Florida. Look right here where I'm at right now, Panama City. Destroyed everything. It took for what felt like forever for these people that was going through this. No power, no water, no supplies, no medicine coming to an end. Having to travel when roads got cleared out of town to get prescriptions filled because there was nothing in operation. What do you think is going to happen if we get a major attack here? Things are going to get shut down. Supply chains are going to stop. You need to make sure you have things put back for your family. And I know people don't want to hear this from me because I want it to make a combination of survival and prepping. To me, they go hand in hand. To be a prepper, you also learn survival skills. That way, when this stuff is gone, you still have the availability to procure food, shelter, things of that nature for your family. Because if someone's coming down street door to door, armored vehicle, and they are armed to the teeth, sitting there with the comments, well, I'll just shoot them up. No, you might get a couple pop shots off, but they're trained to take you out. But hey, you do you. Anyway, guys, this bit of information here that pop up there again, it's a plan, it's been released. It could just be like, hey, this is what we're planning on, and you keep on, tit for tat, let's call each other's bluffs. But in my opinion, we're getting one step closer and another step closer. Eventually, there's going to be no more steps to take. With the HIMARS system and the possibility of F-16s being used against Russia to attack deeper in, I believe we're going to see a much faster escalation of response from them. And it's not just going to be Ukraine. It's going to go further out. We try borders and stuff all the time, airspace and stuff like that with other countries. We do it all the time, but we see Russia always does it. They have the subs off our coast. You got planes off our airspace. Yeah, nothing new. But what happens when that plane decides to keep going? And there's something on there. Sure, we might be able to get it knocked out of the air, but is that going to be before they drop something major? What about the satellites that are in orbit? satellite killers, the possibility of nuclear weapons, EMP weaponry, things of that nature on these things. There ain't no stopping those. Just keep your eyes open, guys. Keep prepping. You don't have to get fearful. You don't have to run to the store and just go buy everything. Don't ever panic buy. Budget your stuff out. Use your preps. You know, we talk about rotational stock. You know, if you had a year's supply of rotational food, dry goods, canned goods, frozen, dehydrated, whatever. This is stuff that you're constantly using in your normal diet. When things happen, you got a year of food to protect you and your family, to provide for them. The hard part is knowing that everyone else around you starving or fighting like crazy for a can of beanie weenies. Have I seen that? Yeah, actually I have. When I was a former train rider, I've seen it when people were hungry. I've seen fights break out over little nothing stuff. And I'm not just talking about just a couple of punches thrown. You know, we see on, there should be a pop-up there for you, those sales that they have, people freaking out over TVs and baby dolls. Exactly what do you think's going to happen when this stuff pops off? Do you actually believe that you're just going to go roll up to Walmart and take what you want? You and a couple thousand at the exact same time. And here's a big kicker. They're armed as well. Because I see those comments. I would rather you use your brain, prepare now, so you're not putting yourself in that situation. Getting your ass swacked. Leaving your family without you. Because what happens then, man? What happens then? You run up to Walmart because you're just going to go raid that sucker. They swack you because, let's face it, you're not going to take 8 armed assailants that are also firing back. It's not the freaking movies, and you're not John Wick. Oh, here's another thing. That little suit that stops bullets. Yeah, you get ready for every broken bone in your body from the impacts alone. Same thing with chest armor. You're going to be breaking ribs, sternums. What are you going to do with that? You got a medical doctor you can go see during shit hits the fan because the hospitals are going to be overrun. If they even have supplies and be able to take care of you. Guys, use your brain. Stay out of those situations. Prep now. And when I talk about bugging out, keep that as a plan and work on those plans. Because when they start rolling in on you, you might have, because if you don't have good communication set up with the neighborhood area that you should be building, you might only have a couple minutes to get out. One of the great things about reaching out and having prepper groups, because you're able to know something's coming 5 miles down the road. They didn't contact you. Man, it's coming big, fast. You got to go. And you have a place that you're supposed to be going to. And then you have a secondary place lined up. It might not be the Taj Mahal, but at least you are getting your family out of harm's way. Now, if someone rolls up and try to take your stuff or hurt your family during that time, yes, swack them. But be smart about this stuff. The ones that are going to be jumping on M1 Abrams and taking out special forces, you do you. All right, guys. Speak to y'all later.